Hey everybody, it's Christy with Fur Babies and Friends. I am here to talk to you about how you train down commands. So we are going to start from the very basics of luring and then work into a verbal down. So I always like to do it down on a soft surface. So I have Tigger here on the carpet. You don't want to do it on a slippery floor. It makes it down. It's a little bit more uncomfortable for the dog and it's a little bit more slippery, and you want to set them up for success. So it's always best to teach it down on a soft, so you could do a rug, a mat, a carpet, a blanket, a dog bed. It doesn't matter. I've even taught down on couches before. Wherever the dog is comfortable, that's the best place to be. So the first step is I always like to get our dogs in a sit first because it's much easier to get them into a down from a sit. Now, Tigger has a grade 3 out of 4 luxating patella, so this may be a little bit more difficult for him. So I don't ask him to do down frequently, but I thought he'd be a good one to show what the beginning looks like for people who have never taught their dogs how to down. So as a reminder, first thing that we're going to do, we're going to keep our hand like an okay sign. So no matter what sign we're doing, our hand position always stays the same. This is important because it makes it a lot less confusing for the dog. So if sit is palms to the sky, 45 degrees to 75 degrees, down is going to be palms to the ground, 75 degrees to 45 degrees. Eventually, when you pull yourself up, the hand motion will just be like this. So to start, what you want to do is I like to get down on more to their level. I'm going to let Tigger eat the treat. And as he's eating, I'm going to give enough space so that he can back up. I'm going to slowly pull the treat down. Good boy. As soon as he gets all 4 paws on the ground, good boy. As soon as he gets all 4 paws on the ground, I release the treat. So we're going to try again. I'm going to put him into a sit. Okay. Now I'm going to lure him down. Good boy. Notice how I'm not saying the word. Notice how I'm not saying the word down. I'm just simply using the treat to lure him into the position I want him to be in. You can also then practice with your hand sign to lure him back up into a sit. Good boy. He offered me a down. So in dog training, we call that capturing. So I treated him because he went into a down all by himself. So I'm going to ask him to come back up. This is a good way we can call puppy push-ups. It's a good way to teach your dog how to do downs in sits. Good boy. Now, for some of you, if your dog is really struggling, the couple of key tips here that you want to remember is really let your dog chew the treat all the way down. If your dog is struggling, and let's say they're keeping their butt up and they're not getting their front all the way down, you might have to hold the treat on the floor, wait for them. So he popped back up, hold the treat on the floor until they go all the way into a down and then release the treat. Now, remember, with positive reinforcement-based training, it's really important that you release the treat as soon as the dog completes the behavior. So the behavior that we're actually looking for here is that the dog's belly and all 4 kind of elbows touch the ground. So as soon as that happens, we give them a reward. Now I'm going to try and lure him back up using the sit sign. Boy. Ready? Now that he's getting it, I'm going to start using the verbal cue. So now I'm going to say down. Good boy. Sit. Yes, good boy. So there is the very beginning, the basics of how you can start to train a down. I will be right back to show you the evolution of what this should look like. We are back. I am here with Mr. Tigger. So we went over the initial phases of luring for a down cue. Now I'm going to show you how you gradually progress by moving yourself up. So before I was kneeling on the ground and he was starting to get it. So now I'm going to try and just use more of my hand signal to get him to go down. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to say the word down. I'm going to push my hand down. I'm going to wait. Good. Until all 4 elbows and stomach hits the ground. Come here, Weeks. Good boy. Sit. So I'm going to try again. I'm going to go to the same distance. Down. Good boy. I don't care that he's popping back up right now. You'll work on that as you advance in your obedience cues right now, the only thing that I'm really focused on and the only thing that's important to me is that he is going down on the lure on the hand signal. As he gets a little better, I'm going to pull myself up more, and I'm not going to release the treat until he's all the way back on the ground. So I'm going to try it a little bit higher up, down. So he's sniffing for it. I'm going to see if he figures it out. Now I'm just going to stay quiet, and I'm going to hold my hand. There we go. Don't forget, give your dog time to figure it out. Just shut up. That's what hand signals, dogs learn fundamentally via sign language. And that's what the hand signals are for. Down. So he's trying to figure it out. Yeah, good boy. Down. So I'm going to hold my hand there. He looks confused, so I'm going to tell him again. Now I've let enough time go by that I'm not repeating the cues. You want to be careful that you're not saying the cue over and over again. So if while he was confused, I kept saying down, down, we call that poisoning the cue, which means that sound basically means nothing. It becomes invalid because you didn't actually teach your dog the behavior that you wanted. So if they don't respond to the verbal, then you need to go back to hand luring and make sure they understand down, good boy, and make sure they understand the behavior that you're actually trying to get. Eventually, you want to work to the point where you can pull yourself all the way up. You can say down. So I'm going to pull myself all the way up. I'm going to see he's trying to get the treat, but I'm not going to release it. And I'm going to see if while he problem solves. So I went a little fast in this, so he's not sure what to do. So I'm going to re-cue him, but I'm going to go a little lower to the ground. I'm going to meet him halfway so it makes more sense. Down. So I'm not going to say it again. I'm just going to go a little lower. His leg might be getting sore. Is your leg getting sore? Good job, Wiggles. So that's how you want to get to the point where you're going to pull yourself up. Obviously, you don't want to be crouched over, and you're not always going to want to lure to the ground all the time. That's not the goal. That's not the obedience goal. So you want to be able to pull yourself up, make a very clear sign, hand signal, your sign language. And again, it's going to look like that. Down. And now I will show you what it will look like when you move to a verbal cue only. I'm back with my demo dog Apollo, and now I'm going to show what it would look like once your dog fundamentally understands the behavior for a down, and you have practiced and repeated so many times using the hand lure and using your verbal cue. You should be able to get, and this is kind of a way to test how well your dog knows the actual obedience command or cue verbally, is you're going to say down, good boy, and then I reward. So you can get to the point where you just are only on verbals, and obviously that's always impressive to other people, but it's good in an off-leash situation, or just for general obedience in your home to be able to work with and get the behaviors from your dogs that you want to make your life a lot easier.